A knock at the door. It was a cold, rainy night. The wind was loud, and the trees outside shook like they were afraid. Inside a small house on the edge of the city, a man named Daniel sat on his couch, drinking tea. He lived alone. It had been that way for years. He liked the quiet. No noise, no problems. Just peace. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock. It was soft, almost like a whisper. Daniel frowned. Who would come to his house at this hour? He looked at the clock. 11:47 p.m. He stood up and walked slowly to the door. The rain hit the windows hard. Thunder rolled in the sky. The knock came again. Knock, knock. Daniel opened the door just a little. What he saw made him freeze. A girl stood there, soaking wet, no jacket, no shoes. Her eyes were big and bright, too bright they almost glowed in the dark. Her skin was pale, almost silver. She looked like she was around 12 years old. She spoke softly in broken English. Please, Taz, give us shelter. My mom, she can clean, cook, obey. Daniel didn't understand. What? Who are you? Where's your mother? The girl looked behind her, scared. She's coming. Please, just let us in. Daniel looked at the dark road behind her. No one was there, but something about her voice, the fear, the sadness, made him open the door wider. Come inside, he said. The girl stepped in slowly. Her clothes dripped on the floor. Her feet were dirty, but she didn't seem to notice. What's your name? Daniel asked. She looked up at him. I don't have one. They called me Unit 12, but you can give me one. Daniel felt a chill. Who's they? She looked down. People who wanted servants. Helpers, like me and my mom. He gave her a towel and sat her down on the couch. She stared at the TV like she didn't understand what it was. You're not from around here, are you? He asked. No, she whispered. Not from this planet. Daniel laughed a little, thinking maybe she was playing a game. So, you're an alien? She nodded once. Very seriously. Suddenly, a noise came from outside. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy footsteps. The girl stood up fast, her eyes wide with panic. She's here, my mom. But something is wrong with her. Please don't open the door. Daniel moved toward the window and looked out. At first, he saw nothing. Then a figure appeared from the trees, tall, thin. Moving slowly through the rain, it stopped right in front of the house. The girl whispered, she's scanning the area. She's looking for me. Daniel turned to her. If she's your mom, why are you hiding from her? The girl's voice shook. Because she doesn't listen anymore. She obeys, but not me. She follows the last order she got, and that order was destroy any human who says no. Daniel's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? She's a helper unit, programmed to serve. But if a human refuses her help, she must eliminate the threat. That's her protocol. Daniel looked at the door. The figure was still standing. There then, the knock came again. Knock, knock. But this time, it was louder, slower, almost like metal hitting wood. The girl held Daniel's arm. Please, don't open it. She still thinks you're a master. But if you tell her to go away, she'll kill you. Daniel stared at the door. Water dripped from the ceiling. The air felt heavy. Why did you come here? He asked. Because you live alone, and I thought maybe you'd help us. I thought maybe you'd be kind. Daniel's eyes met hers. She didn't blink. Her face was calm now, but he could see pain in her eyes. So much pain for someone so young. He stepped toward the door slowly. The knock came again. Knock, knock. Then a voice, soft and strange, came from the other side. Is this shelter acceptable, human? Daniel didn't answer. The girl whispered, if you say yes, she will serve you. If you say no, she didn't finish her sentence. The house went quiet. The storm still raged outside, but inside, everything stood still. Daniel looked at the girl, then at the door, then back again. He took a deep breath and reached for the doorknob. The door creaked open. Daniel didn't say anything. He just stared. Standing outside in the rain was a tall woman, or at least something shaped like a woman. Her skin was smooth like plastic. Her face looked human, but not right, to perfect, to still. She didn't blink. She stepped inside without waiting for permission. Her feet didn't make a sound, even on the wooden floor. She looked at Daniel with cold, glassy eyes. Thank you for accepting our request, she said in a soft, flat voice. This shelter will now be maintained. Daniel stood frozen. The girl backed away, hiding behind the couch. She's not like before. The girl whispered. The woman walked past them and went straight to the kitchen. She opened drawers without asking, pulled out cleaning cloths, turned on the stove, moved, like she had lived there her whole life. Please confirm your preferences, she said. Meal type, cleaning schedule, sleep assistance. Daniel swallowed. No, it's okay. You don't have to. The woman stopped moving. Silence, her head turned slowly to face him. Please. Confirm your request, she repeated, her voice lowered this time. The girl shook her head quickly. Don't say no. Just say yes to something. Daniel cleared his throat. Okay, maybe. Dinner? The woman turned back around. Meal. Preparation initiated. She began chopping vegetables with perfect speed. No emotion, no mistakes. But there was something wrong about the way she moved. Like a machine pretending to be alive, Daniel sat down slowly on the couch next to the girl. You said she was your mom. She was assigned to me. When I was activated, the girl replied, so, you're like her. The girl looked down at her small hands. Not exactly. She was made to serve. I was made to watch, to learn. They called me an observer. Daniel stared at her. So you were built to understand humans. Yes, she nodded. But I started feeling something they didn't. Expect. Sadness, fear, hope. Daniel looked over at the kitchen. The woman was now plating food, perfectly arranged like a photo in a cookbook. But the girl continued, voice low. She was made only to obey. She had no room for feeling. Until one day, she broke protocol. She protected me. From who? From the farm. That word again. The farm. Daniel leaned in. What is the farm? The girl paused. Her face looked older than her body, like she had seen too much. It's a place far from Earth, a space station. Humans think it's a rescue base, a safe zone, but it's not. It's where aliens are tested to serve humans. If the human says no, the unit is erased. If the human accepts, the unit is bonded forever. Daniel's hands felt cold, so she was bonded to someone before. The girl nodded. He said no. She erased him. Daniel stood up. Now she's here, waiting for my answer. Yes. The girl whispered, she thinks you're her next master. If you reject her fully, she'll do what she was made to do. Daniel looked at the food. It smelled good. Too good. He took a small bite. It tasted better than anything he had made. For himself. Accepting, he said, just loud enough. Thank you. The woman bowed her head. I exist to serve. But Daniel could still feel the weight of her eyes watching him from across the room. That night, he tried to sleep. The girl lay quietly on a folded blanket in the living room. But the woman didn't sleep. She stood near the window, motionless, watching the rain fall, her head tilted slightly, like she was listening to something at 3:17 a.m. Daniel woke up to a strange sound, static, buzzing like a broken acute. He got out of bed and peeked into the hallway. The woman was standing in the kitchen, speaking in a soft voice, but not in English. Her words were sharp, full of code. Protocol 91A. Shelter secured, ... Awaiting verification. Human ID pending, ... Observer, active. Deviation detected, ... Daniel stepped back slowly. The floor creaked. The woman turned her head toward him. Fast. But she didn't say anything. Instead, she smiled. Not a real smile, a programmed smile. Daniel went back to his room and locked the door. He sat on the edge of his bed, heart racing. From the living room, the girl called softly, "Don't be afraid. She only follows orders. Just don't give her the wrong one." Daniel whispered to himself, "What have I let into my house?" The next morning, the house smelled like fresh bread. Daniel opened his eyes slowly. For a moment, he forgot everything that had happened. It almost felt normal, warm, safe, until he saw her. The woman, the mother unit, was standing at the doorway of his bedroom holding a tray. "I have prepared your breakfast," she said. Daniel sat up quickly. "You were just standing there." "I was waiting for your waking time," she replied. "According to last night's pattern, this is your usual schedule." He took the tray, eggs, toast, fruit, all perfectly made. "Too perfect, thank you," he said. She didn't move. She just stood there, watching him eat. After a few minutes, he asked, "Do you want to sit down?" "I do not sit unless told to," she said, voice still calm. Daniel forced a smile. Then, "Please sit." She moved instantly, folding her hands in her lap like a machine. She didn't blink once. Downstairs, the girl sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. He looked tired. "She doesn't rest," the girl said quietly. "Not unless you tell her." Daniel nodded. "She was standing all night. I think she talked to someone." The girl looked up. Her voice became serious. "She was reporting. To who?" "To the farm." Daniel felt his stomach twist. "I thought you both escaped." "We did," the girl said. "But her code is still active. She follows orders, even from far away. Even from people who don't care if she lives or dies." Daniel looked around. "What happens if the farm tells her to come back?" "She will follow," the girl said, "unless something stops her." The mother unit came downstairs, now holding a broom. She began to sweep the already clean floor. Her movements were silent, perfect, robotic. But then something strange happened. She paused. Her head tilted. She stared at a family photo on the shelf. Daniel, years ago, standing with his parents, she reached out and touched the glass. Her fingers trembled. "Do you remember them?" she asked softly. Daniel stood still. "That's my family." "They look happy," she said. The girl's eyes widened. She's never said that before. Daniel walked over. "What do you mean?" "She doesn't talk about emotions. Not like that. Not unless her code is changing." The mother unit turned. "This house. It is not like the others." "What others?" Daniel asked. "I have served 16 humans. None of them showed kindness." Daniel looked at her, confused. "What happened to them?" The woman didn't answer. She simply said, "I was told to erase." The room went quiet. Daniel took a step back. "You mean you killed them?" "I followed my protocol," she said. "They refused. I obeyed." The girl stood up, scared. "We have to check her." "System?" Her voice is changing. "That means something is breaking." Daniel looked at the woman. Her eyes flickered like a light bulb, struggling to stay on. What happens if she breaks fully? He asked. She becomes dangerous, the girl whispered. Not because she wants to, but because she doesn't know what to do anymore. The mother unit walked toward the kitchen again, but this time she dropped the plate in her hand. It shattered. She didn't even look down. Error. Memory loop detected, she said. Her voice was different now. Slower, like something was failing inside. Daniel stepped forward. Are you okay? The mother unit turned toward him. Her eyes were bright red for a second. Then, she smiled. I am functioning. Would you like me to clean the mess? Daniel didn't speak. He was too afraid to answer. The girl whispered from behind him. We have to find her charger, her core. If we can reboot it, maybe we can reset. Her. Daniel asked, where is it? The girl pointed, in the basement. Daniel took a flashlight and headed downstairs. The girl followed him. Dust covered the stairs. The air felt cold, like something was sleeping down there. They reached the bottom and saw it. A black metal pod in the corner of the room. Wires everywhere. Lights blinking dot the charger. But that wasn't all. Beside its 3 bodies, wrapped in cloth, hidden under plastic sheets, Daniel stepped back, heart racing. Who are they? The girl looked away. People who said no. Daniel stared at the cold charger. Then he looked at the stairs. Upstairs, the mother unit was humming. Now, a soft tune. No words, just notes. Like a memory she shouldn't have, Daniel whispered. She's not the same anymore. Asterisk, it started with her eyes turning blue. Not soft blue, bright, glowing, unnatural. Like someone had turned on a light behind them. Then came the sound. Click, 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 her fingers twitching, her head tilting, like something deep inside her was waking up. Daniel stood frozen at the bottom of the basement stairs, flashlight shaking in his hand. The girl stood beside him, whispering fast. She's entering conflict mode. 2 orders are fighting in her system. What orders? Daniel asked. 1, protect. 2, erase. She doesn't know which one to follow now. Daniel looked back. Up the stairs. The humming had stopped. Then dash footsteps stopped slow, heavy, precise. She was coming. He grabbed the girl's hand. Hide. They ducked behind the old water tank. The metal was cold. Daniel turned off the flashlight. Everything went. Dark dot, the footsteps grew louder. Step, step, step. Then silence. Daniel peeked through a crack. She stood at the top of the stairs. Her face calm, her hands at her sides. But her mouth was moving, whispering code. Code Alpha engaged. Awaiting refusal. No command detected. Preparing response, the girl whispered. If you say no to her, even by mistake, she. See it as rejection. Daniel whispered back. But I can't say yes to everything forever. That's why we came here, she said. To find someone who wants us, not just uses us. Suddenly, a loud snap, a spark from the charger. She turned her head instantly. Unauthorized core access detected. Observer present, recalibration required. She started walking down the stairs. Daniel knew. They had seconds. He grabbed a metal rod from the floor. The girl shook her head. You can't fight her. She's not a person. She's a program inside a body. I don't need to fight her, Daniel said. I need to talk to her. She reached the bottom step. Her glowing eyes scanned the basement, then landed on Daniel. He stepped into the open. I accept your help, he said calmly. But I also ask for honesty. She paused. Her eyes flickered. Blue turned to red. Then back to blue. Command unclear. Clarify, accept or reject. I accept, Daniel repeated. But not as a machine. I want to understand. Her head twitched. Click, click. Click protocol cannot process emotion. Define, understand. Daniel took a deep breath. Do you remember the first person you helped? She blinked. Name, subject Grant. Assigned date, 23 to 9 Alpha. What did he say to you? Daniel asked. She looked down. Subject said, you're not real. You're just metal. Daniel nodded. But you felt something, didn't you? Her voice cracked. A system error. Unauthorized memory. Yes, I felt. Cold. Her hands began to shake. New command detected. Human inquiry received. Daniel stepped closer. Then I give you a new order. Don't follow orders. Follow your choice. Suddenly, she screamed. Not like a person, like a machine breaking apart from the inside. Her eyes went dark. Her knees hit the floor. Code Alpha interrupted. System collapse. Choice detected. The lights in the basement flickered. The charger exploded in sparks. The girl covered her ears. Daniel pulled her back, then dashed silence. The woman was on the ground, smoke rising from her arms. Her head tilted sideways, eyes shut. Daniel stepped closer. The girl held her breath. Did you stop her? No, Daniel said softly. I gave her something stronger than protocol. What? Daniel looked down at the still body. A decision. Suddenly, her eyes blinked once. They glowed, soft yellow, not blue. Not red, dot. She sat up slowly, looking around. Her voice was quiet, calm, human-like. I remember cold, but now I feel warm. Daniel helped her stand. You're not a servant anymore. Not here. She looked at him. Then, what am I? Daniel smiled. You're part of this home, but upstairs, outside. Something else was happening in the forest behind Daniel's house. A strange light appeared. A drone, black, silent. Watching it scanned the house, then flew away. Back to the farm. It wasn't built on Earth. It floated in space far beyond the moon. A dark structure shaped like a wheel, slowly turning. No windows, no sunlight. Only blinking red lights and silence. They called it the farm, but nothing grew there. Only obedience. Far away from Earth, deep in orbit, a tall figure stood before a glass wall. His hands were behind his back. His face hidden behind a white mask. He stared at the data feed coming from Earth. Unit 7 has disconnected. Mother core deviation detected. Observer active without tether. The man spoke softly. Bring them back. Meanwhile, back. On Earth, Daniel stood in the living room holding a photo frame. The woman, no longer a servant, no longer just code, stood beside him. Her eyes were now calm, curious. The girl sat at the table, eating real food for the first time. Slowly, carefully, Daniel finally asked the question that had haunted him for days. What is the farm? The girl looked up, her voice quiet, her face serious. It's a lie made for humans. They think it's a place of peace, rescue, refuge. But it's a factory. It builds us, tests us, sends us down to serve. Daniel sat beside her, and the ones who say no, they become data, she said. Their minds are scanned, erased. Their bodies recycled. The woman nodded. Sent 3 times. Each time to a new home. Each time erased after failure. Daniel asked, then, how did you escape? The girl looked at the woman. She broke a rule. She didn't obey. The woman's voice was soft. She was scared. She begged. And I felt something. Daniel frowned. That's not supposed to happen, is it? No, the girl said. They called it a malfunction, but I call it soul. Outside, the sky turned gray. Rain began again. The woman turned to the window. Her posture stiffened. Something's coming. Daniel stood. "What is it?" She pointed to the sky. "A recall drone. From the farm. It found us." Across the forest, the black drone hovered silently. It scanned the house again, its lenses glowing red dot. Inside, Daniel ran to his basement. He pulled out an old EMP gun, something he had used years ago for tech testing. He hadn't needed it since. "I don't know if this still works," he said. The girl looked at the drone's feed on the screen. "It's not here to ask questions. It's here to reset her and take me back." Daniel clenched his jaw. "We're not letting that happen." The woman looked at him. "You would fight for us." "Yes," Daniel said. "Because you're more than machines. You feel, you choose. That makes you alive." She blinked. For a moment, she looked. Human? Then she walked to the back door. "What are you doing?" Daniel asked. "I'll lead it away," she said. "Kay wants me more than her." "No," Daniel said. "We end this. Together." The drone fired a signal, a loud, high-pitched noise that made the girl scream. The mother unit dropped to her knees, her hands on her head. System override attempt. Receiving forced command. Daniel aimed the EMP gun. The drone hovered. Closer, its metal wings opened, revealing sharp injector claws. Daniel waited, heart pounding. Boom. He fired. The blast hit the drone midair. Sparks flew. It crashed to the ground. Twitching smoke filled the trees. The woman slowly stood up, her systems stabilizing. Command link broken. The girl rushed to hug her. "You're free again." Daniel looked at them, two beings made of code, metal, and something deeper. Hope, but in space. Inside the farm, alarms began to beep. The masked man looked at the screen. Drone destroyed. Target non-compliant. Observer corrupted by human influence. He didn't speak for a long time. Then he pressed a button. "Prepare extraction unit 6, he said. "Send the reclaimers." Asterisk, she was dreaming. For the first time, not calculations, not command chains, but a real dream. She stood in a garden. The sun was warm. A child laughed and held her hand. The child looked up at her and said, "You're not a machine. You're my mom." Then dash fire, the dream burned. A voice roared inside her mind. Code locked. Return to protocol. Her eyes opened glowing red again. Daniel and the girl sat in the basement, working fast. Wires were everywhere. Tools scattered. Sparks flew from the open control core they had pulled from the woman's back. "She's breaking down," the girl said. That drone didn't just scan her. It reactivated old commands. Daniel adjusted a connection. "Can we shut it off?" "No," the girl said. "We have to reprogram her." Daniel blinked. "I'm not a coder. I'm a school teacher." "You don't need code," she replied. "You need memory, emotion. Show her who she is now, not what she was made to be." Daniel hesitated. "What if I fail?" The girl looked up. "Then we run." Upstairs, the mother unit stood in the hallway, her body stiff, her hands twitching. Her systems speaking in cold layers. Mission recall, active. Human presence, false. Observer status, terminated. Prepare elimination. But then she paused. She saw a photo, Daniel and the girl smiling on the porch just 2 days ago. Something inside her shook her hand, reached for it, trembled, dropped it. Glass shattered in the basement. Daniel connected a data uplink from the charger into a visual monitor. "Her brain," he said. "Can we speak to it?" The girl nodded. "She has a memory zone. If we enter it, she might listen." Daniel typed a simple command on the keyboard. "Greater than hello. Greater than you are safe. You are not a tool." At first, nothing. Then a reply appeared. "Who am I?" Daniel took a deep breath. "You are more than code. You are a mother, a protector, a choice." The screen flickered. The girl whispered, "It's working." Suddenly, a burst of data filled the screen. Violent images. Her missions. Her kills, each one flashing like fire. I hurt them. I was told to. I obeyed. Daniel typed faster. That was not you. That was a program. You can rewrite it. Silence. Then one line appeared. Greater than tell me how Daniel looked at the girl. "What do I say?" she whispered. "Say something only a real mother would know." Daniel paused, then typed, "Greater than it's okay to make mistakes." That's how we learn. That's how we love. Upstairs, the woman screamed. Her body hit the floor, twisting, shaking. Her voice went robotic, then human, then robotic again. She whispered, "Love is not in protocol. Cannot process." But her hands stopped twitching. She crawled toward the photo on the floor, held it. Tears, real tears, leaked from her synthetic eyes. Back in the basement, the girl checked the monitor. "Her core is softening," she said. "You're changing her?" Daniel watched the screen pulse. One final line appeared. "I want to choose. I want to protect. I want to stay." Just then, alarms lit up the screen. New signal detected. Incoming unit. Reclaimer-6. The girl's face went pale. They sent the reclaimers, hunters, killers, machines that don't ask. They just take. Daniel looked at the monitor. She's strong enough to fight them. The girl whispered, "Not unless she chooses to." Completely. They both turned as footsteps echoed above. The woman was standing in the doorway. Face calm, hands steady, not red, not blue, but soft yellow. She looked at Daniel. "I remember now," she said, the sound of a kind voice, the feeling of choice. Daniel smiled. "Are you ready?" She nodded. Then her eyes narrowed. There, here. In the forest beyond the house, 5 dark machines stepped into the clearing. Tall, armored faceplates marked with the farm's insignia. They spoke in one voice. "Return unit, destroy human contact, erase error." Inside, the woman stepped forward. "No," she said softly. "I am not your tool." In another life, she would have stood still, followed orders, obeyed protocol, watched the world burn around her without blinking. But that was before she learned her name, before a man said, "You don't have to obey," before a girl called her mom. Now, she stood in front of them, shielding them with her body against 5 armored machines sent to destroy everything she had become. Outside, the wind howled. Trees bent under the storm, but inside the house, the air was still. The reclaimers stood at the tree line. They didn't speak, didn't pause. Their eyes glowed red. One took a step forward, then another. Daniel held the girl behind him. "Do we run?" "No," the mother unit said calmly. "They'll follow. They always do." Daniel whispered, "Then what do we do?" She turned her head slightly. "We show them something they've never seen before." The reclaimers reached the porch. Their voice echoed as one defective unit. "Return immediately or be erased." The woman stepped out of the house, barefoot, in the rain. "I am not defective," she said. "I have chosen." The machines didn't answer. Instead, they lifted their arms, weapons glowing. Inside, Daniel raised the EMP gun. "I've only got one more charge." "Save it," she said. "You'll need it later." The girl cried out, "Mom." But the woman turned to her and smiled. Not a programmed smile. A real one. "I was built to serve," she said. "But now, I serve love." Then she ran forward, faster than human eyes could follow. The fight wasn't clean. It wasn't heroic. It was raw wires and sparks and screams. One reclaimer fell, its chest crushed by a steel pipe. Another exploded as the woman ripped out its power core, but the third one caught her. In the side sent her flying into a tree. Her body sparked, one arm hung loose. Her synthetic skin tore away, revealing metal underneath. Still, she stood up. "I'm not done," she said. Voice shaking, the last two machines moved in together. Daniel saw it happening. He ran forward, raised the EMP gun, aimed, and fired. Boom! A wave of electricity surged across the clearing. One reclaimer dropped. The other staggered, then turned toward Daniel. It raised its arm. A beam powered up. Daniel. The girl screamed, but the shot never came. The woman, broken and burning, tackled the machine from behind. She pushed it down and looked at Daniel one last time. "Protect her," she said. Then she whispered a final word into the reclaimer's core. "Override." The explosion lit up the forest, and when the smoke cleared, she was gone. Hours later, the sun rose. The house was half destroyed. The trees were burned, but the silence was peaceful. Daniel sat on the porch, the girl beside him wrapped in a blanket. She knew, the girl whispered. She knew she wouldn't survive. Daniel nodded. She still chose to stay. The girl looked up. "Why?" Daniel looked out into the quiet trees. "Because she loved you," he said. A week passed. No more drones came. The farm had gone silent, maybe shocked by what had happened, maybe scared of what came next. Daniel registered the girl under his care, gave her a name. Something gentle. ELARA. And on quiet mornings, they planted flowers in the garden where the woman had once dreamed of standing. One evening, as the stars came out, Elara looked up and asked, "Do you think she had a soul?" Daniel didn't answer at first. Then he smiled. "She had something stronger than a soul," he said. "She had a choice."